Overstayer M-A-S Extended. The extended version of M-A-S has the same sound, and consists of the same algorithm as the Overstayer M-A-S, but instead of having 6 predefined emphasis types, you are able to sculpt the emphasis freely. The lower part of the M-A-S Extended can be engaged by clicking on the emphasis button. Filters. The filters are 12 decibels octave resonant filters before the M-A-S saturation. These filters are not compensated for and are just normal filters. However, to use them you need to engage the lower section with the emphasis on button. HPF on engages the high pass filter. HPF frequency sets the cutoff frequency of the high pass filter, 20 Hz to 2 kHz. HPF Res sets the resonance of the high pass filter. LFP on engages the low pass filter. LPF frequency sets the cutoff frequency of the low pass filter, 200 Hz to 20 kHz. LPF Res sets the resonance of the low pass filter. The resonances of the HPF and LPF filters go from smooth, at 0, to a slight 1 decibel bump, at 12 o'clock, all the way up to an emphasized 3 decibels bump, when it is at its max position. Emphasis Equalizer. The emphasis equalizer consists of 4 bands before the saturation, and 4 complementary bands after the saturation. Boosting a frequency using the black Bakelite knobs will automatically cut the same frequency after the saturation, so that the total equalization equals out. With a high amount of saturation, you will start to hear a tonal coloration from the EQ, coming mostly from the complementary EQ after the saturation. The idea of emphasis equalization is to alter the frequencies that the saturator sees, or hears. Much like doing sidechain filtering on a compressor. The sound of the emphasis filters are thus more about how the saturation sounds, rather than how the filters in themselves sound. The black Bakelite knobs are the main EQ controls, and the outer ring is an indicator for what the complementary post-equalization is set at. If you want to control the pre and post bands independently, turn off the compensation button below the band. The outer ring, post EQ, can now be adjusted like a normal control. Boosting a band can have a counterintuitive effect. By boosting a band you will make that band distort more, which can lower the output volume of that band. To emphasize a frequency, you often have to do the opposite, for example lowering the gain of the bass band in order to emphasize the bass frequencies. Each EQ band consists of 2 controls, the black pre-EQ and the outer disc, post-EQ. With compensation equals on, the outer disc will always be set to the inverted value of the pre-EQ. Turn compensation off to adjust both controls independently. The sum of the 2 curves will be a flat, uncolored, EQ curve. Bass Decibel Pre, black knob, sets the gain of a fixed low shelving filter pre-saturation. If bass compensation is on, it will also set the outer disc to the inverted, complementary, value. The center frequency is placed at 150 Hz. Bass Decibel Post, outer disc, sets the gain of a fixed low shelving filter post-saturation. Is automatically controlled when bass compensation is on. Bass compensation, turn on to automatically set the complementary band, the post EQ band. Presence 1, kHz, presence 2, kHz, set the frequency of the peaking filter. Both presence bands are equal, and they range between 50 Hz and 20 kHz in 21 fixed positions. Presence 1, Decibel Pre, presence 2, Decibel Pre, black knobs, sets the gain of the peaking band pre-saturation. If compensation is on, it will automatically set the post EQ band, outer disc, to the complementary, inverted, value. Presence 1, Decibel, post, presence 2, Decibel, post, outer discs, sets the gain of the peaking band post-saturation. Is automatically controlled when the compensation buttons are engaged. Presence 1 compensation, presence 2 compensation, turn on to automatically set the complementary band, the post EQ band. Treble Decibel Pre, black knob, sets the gain of a fixed high shelving filter pre-saturation. If treble compensation is on, it will also set the outer disc to the inverted, complementary, value. The center frequency is set at 7.5 kHz. Treble Decibel Post, outer disc, sets the gain of a fixed high shelving filter post-saturation. Is automatically controlled when treble compensation is on. Treble compensation, turn on to automatically set the complementary band, the post EQ band. If you just need a bit of air on the track, turn off compensation on the treble band and increase the gain of the treble decibel post to use it as a regular EQ after the M-A-S processing.